Accounting Information Systems, Week 3. Here are the learning objectives for Chapter 7. Summarize the 8 elements of COSO's Enterprise Risk Management Integrated Framework. Understand that management employs internal control systems as part of organizational and IT governance initiatives. Describe how internal control systems help organizations achieve objectives and respond to risks. Describe fraud, and computer abuse. Enumerate control goals for operations and information processes. Describe the major categories of control plans. Enterprise risk management is a process effected by an entity's board of directors, management, and other personnel, applied in strategy settings and across the enterprise, designed to identify potential events that may affect the entity and manage risk to be within its risk appetite, all to provide a reasonable assurance regarding the achievement of entity objectives. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002, also known as SOX, provided for the following. It created the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board. It strengthened auditor independence rules. It increased accountability of company officers and directors. It mandated upper management to take responsibility for the company's internal control structure. It enhanced the quality of financial reporting. It increased white-collar crime penalties. Section 2001 prohibits audit firms from providing a wide array of non-audit services to audit clients. The Act prohibits consulting engagements involving the design and implementation of financial information systems. Such non-audit engagements are swapped around among CPA firms. Section 404 mandates the annual filing of an internal control report with the SEC. Section 404 and PCAOB Auditing Standard 5 require that management of each publicly traded company evaluate company controls to determine if they adequately assess the risk that a material misstatement of the financial statements would not be prevented or detected in a timely manner. Gather and evaluate evidence about the operation of its controls, present a written assessment of internal control effectiveness, and the company's independent auditor must test and report of the effectiveness of the system of internal controls. Business process control goals. Control goals of operations processes include ensure the effectiveness of operations, ensure efficient employment of resources, ensure security of resources. Control goals of information processes ensure input validity, completeness, and accuracy. Ensure update completeness and accuracy. Control plans. Pervasive control plans relate to a multitude of goals and processes. They are broad in scope and apply equally to all business processes. General controls, also known as IT general controls, are applied to all IT service activities. Business process control plans are applied to a particular business process, such as billing or cash receipts. Application controls are automated business process controls contained within IT application systems, such as computer programs. Preventive control plans stop problems from occurring. Detective control plans discover that problems have occurred. Corrective control plans rectify problems that have already occurred. Chapter 8 Learning Objectives. Describe the major pervasive controls that organizations employ as part of their internal control structure. Explain how pervasive controls help ensure continuous, reliable operational and IT processes. Appreciate how an organization must plan and organize all resources, including IT resources, to ensure achievement of its strategic vision. Overview the major controls used to manage the design and implementation of new processes, especially new IT processes. Appreciate the integral part played by the monitoring function in ensuring the overall effectiveness of a system of internal controls. The segregation of duties control plan. Segregation of duties separates the four basic functions of event processing: authorizing events, executing events, recording events, and safeguarding resources resulting from consummating events. No single employee should be in a position to perpetuate and conceal fraud, errors, or other system failures. With proper segregation, collusion would need to occur between departments to exploit the system and conceal abuse. Here are the top 8 IT security concerns: data breaches, cybercrimes, including cyber attacks, workforce mobility, outsourcing, cloud computing, mobility devices, including laptops and cell phones, P2P or person-to-person file sharing, Web 2.0, for example, blogs and social networking sites. To ensure continuous service, business continuity planning must be in place. Business continuity planning, also known as disaster recovery planning, contingency planning, and business interruption planning, is a process that identifies events that may threaten an organization and provides a framework to ensure that the organization will continue to operate when the threatened event occurs, or will resume operations with a minimum of disruption. Information technology assets must be secure. Management has a legal responsibility to protect an organization's assets, including informational assets. To ensure that information is not subject to unauthorized use, disclosure, modification, damage, or loss, 2 types of plans should be implemented. First, control plans that restrict physical access to computer facilities. Second, control plans that restrict logical access to stored programs, data, and documentation. Computer hacking and cracking. Computer hacking and cracking, the intentional unauthorized access to an organization's computer system, accomplished by bypassing the system's access security controls. A hacker is someone who gets a kick out of breaking into a computer system but does not hold malicious intentions to destroy or steal. Cracker is a term used when a hacker's motive is crime, theft, or destruction. Chapter 9 Learning Objectives. Complete the steps in the control framework and prepare a control matrix. Write explanations that describe how the business process and application controls introduced in this chapter accomplish control goals. Describe the importance of business process and application controls to organizations with enterprise systems and those engaging in e-business. The control matrix. A control matrix is a tool designed to assist in analyzing the effectiveness of controls in a particular business process by matching control goals with their associated control plan. PCAOB Auditing Standard Number 5 calls this effectiveness of control design. It provides a means to explain and analyze the controls that have been annotated on a system's flowchart. Consider data entry with batches as a control strategy. Distinguishing control-related features are that it processes event data in batches, uses batch totals as a major control, and produces an exception and summary report. This report reflects the events, either in detail, summary, or both, that were accepted or rejected by the system. Some data could still be rejected at the update stage, where the computer compares the input data with the master data. Batch control plans regulate processing by calculating control totals at various points in a processing run and subsequently comparing these totals. To be effective, batch control plans should ensure that all documents are included in the batch, all batches are submitted for processing, all differences are investigated and corrected on a timely basis, and all batches are accepted by the computer. There are different types of batch control totals. Document record counts, simple count of the number of documents entered, minimum level required to control input completeness, i.e., input the document once. Item or line counts, counts of number of items or lines entered, improves input validity, completeness, and accuracy by reducing the possibility that line items or entire documents could be added to the batch or not be input. Dollar totals, sum of dollar value of batch items, reduces the possibility that documents could be duplicated, added to, or lost from a batch, or that amounts were incorrectly input, and improves input validity, completeness, and accuracy. Hash totals, sum of any numeric data existing for all batch documents, such as a total of customer numbers or purchase order numbers. Can determine if inputs have been altered for accuracy, added for validity, or deleted for completeness.